What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope all's good wherever you are. In this video, we're going to watch Charlie Kirk on campus at a leftist university debating these woke students and, getting with facts and logic. Let's get into it.
Okay, so one thing I want to start off with is, why does your opinion trump over any other people's opinion?
Right, so do you believe that there is a truth out there?
Everything is subjective, but there is a right or wrong morally, especially when you're in a cultured society that is based off a set of standards and norms that we act on and we act as.
So everything is subjective. So is it objectively true you and I are having a conversation right now?
Yes.
So that's not subjective then. So not everything is subjective.
So why do you believe morals?
Right, so something is objective.
Yes, but why do you believe your subjective opinion
get
trumps
there.
over other people's opinion?
Well, let me ask you another question. I'll tell you, I will answer.
Please don't interrupt me. Let me finish my sentence. I do not want to hear it. You think that your opinion is over other people's opinions. You think you were right subjectively.
Okay.
What is right or wrong?
Okay, is murder wrong?
Yes, of course.
Well, then abortion should be
Not in
illegal.
every case.
Answer to question.
What constitutes a human? What is a human?
Deoxyribonucleic acid and conception.
But to me, a
forming
human
it.
would be someone with a consciousness who is alive in this world.
Well,
To
guess
you,
what? You're wrong. So
but
that's
no,
fine.
you're wrong, because I think that's right and you think that's
Prove
right.
me. Prove it wrong.
What constitutes a human being? What is the
So
definition
if
of a
you take
human
DNA
being?
and
The creation of DNA that will never exist again, and a soul goes into that moment. I don't expect you guys
What's a soul?
A soul?
What's a soul?
No, maybe not. What is a soul?
What is a soul?
The eternal, indistinguishable, let's just say, non-visible being of your existence.
I don't believe that. I don't
Well,
believe anything is
I'm
eternal.
sorry you don't believe it.
that does not make yours
Yeah,
true.
Hold on a
your opinion
second.
isn't
Here's the thing.
over
At some point, somebody's truth has to win. Because guess what? Your
In
truth
death.
doesn't matter. That's
Guess
still
what?
a truth
You've had
claim.
your truth in this country for the past thousands of decades.
Thousands of decades.
Not thousands.
Goodness.
Whatever. That's a little embarrassing. But your truth has been the narrative of this country forever.
Has
and
it?
you think
Roe
yes,
versus
the
Wade
white
just
straight
got
male truth-
repealed. Abortion was legal in this country for 40 years.
I think what she said there when she said your truth, I think she meant white people. I don't think she meant, Charlie brought up Roe v. Wade being overturned. I don't think that's what she was talking about. But nonetheless, her friends seem to get it that when there's DNA, when there's fertilization, there's life. Now, she rolled her eyes at the soul part, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But at least she realized that, yes, that is life. The little blonde girl said, well, when you're out in the world breathing, that's when you're human. But now they're changing the definition of the word fetus in the dictionary, and these universities, this is what they're teaching. These kids are ultimately being brainwashed by an ideology that a government and a certain group of people want to impose on them. Let's get back to it.
Before the 40 years, what was
And
it?
crime dropped
Thankfully
40%
illegal in most states.
after it
And
went.
on top of that, do you
Oh,
not
wait, hold
think-
on. Do you think abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped
100%.
40% after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Woman.
Black people. Is that
Black
so? Are you
women.
trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime?
to choose what I get to do with my life because I'm a black woman in a white society.
What does being black have to do with truth?
Because there are different things that we experience,
Like what?
and my truth might not be your truth.
What, you get into college easier than I do?
What?
Yes, you get jobs and internships that white kids don't get.
Oh, poor white people.
You have entire movements dedicated to your race.
We're so
You see what this young lady just did there, and she thinks that's just okay. Oh, poor white people. She would have never done that if Charlie was black. It's okay for the left. They seem to think it's okay to be racist towards white people, and things like affirmative action are indeed programs that were racist. They promoted certain people based on the color of their skin. And in reality, we should all be judged on the content of our character and not on the color of our skin. Let's get back to it.
Sir, do you remember the
Those
novel?
movements are to get riots. You're crazy. Okay, talk.
Do you not believe in racism?
Of course racism exists. The Democrat Party is still alive and well.
Do you think people are racist against white people?
All the time. All the time.
That's his definition.
Affirmative
of
action is
racism.
racism against white people. Yes.
Okay.
And Asians as well.
And Asians, that's right.
So I do have a question in that sense. If affirmative action is racism, why are most colleges predominantly white?
Why are they most predominantly white?
Why are most colleges, public colleges, are predominantly
Yeah,
white?
we
I'm
are
not talking to you.
we're a majority white country. You realize that, right? So colleges are the depiction of the nation.
Okay.
And actually, blacks on campus are disproportionate more than their population in certain areas, in certain campuses, than their population because of affirmative action.
In HBCUs? Is that what
Certain
you're talking
campuses.
About? Are you talking about HBCUs?
So, but let me just ask a more broad philosophical question. Why does skin color matter at all? Why should we care about it?
Because of the society we live in.
Wait, hold on.
Because of the
But
society
no.
You're dismissing anything that has ever happened to someone of color
Let me ask
by
you a
saying
question.
that.
What can you do, or what can I do that you can't do?
Explain
What
how
law?
affirmative action works. Explain how
Affirmative action is lowering of test standards and quota for a
Wrong.
quota.
You're an idiot.
No, it's
Stuff like this gets me. See, Charlie is being respectful. He's having a conversation. Now, you can disagree with people, but he's treating everybody with dignity, with respect. He's not yelling. He's not shouting. And this guy just says, you're an idiot. Most likely, between those two, I would guess that Charlie would not be the idiot. But this is the left's tactics. They insult you. They go after you. There was no need of that. You can disagree. You can have a conversation, and we can see who's going to be right. But you don't just say, you're an idiot. When you do that in any debate, you've lost, in my opinion. Whatever side you're on, you've lost.
I'm gonna tell you
it's
how
the way it works.
I'm gonna tell you how it works.
Yeah, it's the way it works. I'm not going to entertain fallacies. Tell me,
You won't
why?
entertain me because I.
Just let him
Why-
talk. We have to hear your fallacies.
It's fine.
Why
It's
does
fine.
skin color matter?
Let him talk. Well, don't
I
call him an idiot.
believe skin color matters because of the society
He's not
we
being
are
respectful.
in.
Do you know how
And
this
I guess
shit
it
works?
goes
It's called
into critical
rights.
race theory.
Removing
Yes, it
rights
is.
Because of the
disrespectful.
society we have
I'll
lived
do it too.
in, race is a factor. If from the beginning of time race wasn't a factor, and there was never anybody who was oppressed because of their race, I feel like it would not play a part in anything that we do. But because literally less.
Oh, it's just Charlie.
They were interrupting you. I was.
Do you believe on black crime?
Do I believe in black on black crime?
Yeah.
It's abundant.
Explain, please.
Yeah, it's the number one cause of death in many black communities. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like,
He is right.
Okay. Now,
So back to our previous argument that was interrupted. So in the sense of what, like I was saying, you don't believe like because of the history and because races have been oppressed, you don't believe like race plays a part in things, and you don't believe like.
no, that's not true. No. So, do you know who Thomas Sowell is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
No.
Anybody's looking for great books to read and you don't know who Thomas Sowell is, go check him out. I should have worn my Thomas Sowell shirt. I have a Thomas Sowell shirt. Economic Facts and Fallacies, excellent book. Black Rednecks, White Liberals, also excellent. He's got a brand new one that just dropped last week or the week before. I've not read it yet. I'm sure it's great. But if you're looking for a good read, Thomas Sowell, get on that. Let's get back to it.
Really encourage you to look at him. Thomas Sowell's great. He's one of the best black economists of the 20th century. Grew up in Harlem, and he's done the best research in the 1940s, 1950s, and 60s black community. And essentially, his argument is that black America was experiencing a renaissance in the 50s and 60s, despite discrimination. Yes. Now, the one part that I would agree with,
But however, it's not the black community as a whole; it's Harlem black community.
there's Chicago too, but let's pretend you're right, okay? The one argument that I would agree with, and I'm against systemic racism arguments, the one that I would say, you know what, there was something very wrong is when Democrat Lyndon Baines Johnson came in and destroyed the black nuclear family. If there was one part where I could say, you know what, that was unjust and that has to be undone, it's when Lyndon Baines Johnson went in through the Great Society program with the intent to destroy the black nuclear family.
I would agree.
So in that sense, do you believe the war on drugs also played a part? Or
Not
do you not
really.
believe in
No.
the war on drugs?
Well, look, I mean, I believe we should be very harsh on drugs, but I think I would give some merit to the argument of some government agencies peddling cocaine in the inner cities. There is evidence to show that. I'm not going to debate it. Do I think it has so for example, like there's one number that I'm fascinated with, right? Single motherhood in the black community was about 28% in 1945, okay? Now it's around 65 to 70%. Why? Are we more racist than we were in 1945?
One of the big things that happened here is we incentivized women to leave the household. Like women, single mothers would get money from the government. Now they got child support from the husband. They would get alimony sometimes. They get the matrimonial home. The laws were very much in place and still today in favor of women. If you're a man in divorce court, good luck. You got to keep yourself as protected as possible. You know, like protect your assets, protect your wealth. Make freaking smart decisions. If you are going to get married, that is the most important decision you're going to make in your life. So, don't mess it up, because the laws in the US and Canada, as a man, they are not on your side. And that's what broke up a lot of the families, a lot of the black families, because the women were incentivized to break up the home. Now today we have women, and not just black women, that have 2 or 3 kids with 2 or 3 men, and they get child support and alimony, and they get the homes. They've made a career out of having kids and getting divorced.
No.
Okay. So then what happened?
The war on drugs.
Okay,
the
fair
war
enough.
on drugs. The demolishing the nuclear family, in a sense.
Right,
And
we
I
agree.
believe, due to the history that's happened, racism is still very prevalent in a lot of the a lot of the systems that are in America, correct?
Yeah. So no, of course not. But I was actually caught by your shirt. You know, Malcolm X was super pro-life.
Yes.
I think Malcolm X could teach a lot of the black movement something, because it more so than Martin Luther King, because Malcolm X, I'm getting there. Malcolm X, some people don't describe him correctly as being violent, right? That was a very small part of his literature. He was very big on trying to get black America to succeed despite the white liberal.
Yes.
And
not the white liberal.
He did say white liberal. Oh, you go look up the Malcolm X white liberal quote. And so I think that's interesting. Just think about it. Go look up Malcolm X warned against white liberals owning black America for their own gain, which is exactly what BLM is.
Okay, so back to my initial point. Back to my initial point. You don't believe that my truth can be different than yours, specifically based on race.
Experiences can be different, but there is always a truth. I'll give you an example. We all might have 5 different opinions of a car crash, right? But eventually a truth will be revealed of what really happened. Does that make sense?
So you believe that your truth is the truth that you have found yourself is the ultimate truth?
I would hope so. Yeah. And I'm willing to learn.
And then make America great again.
Otherwise,
I
think Malcolm X can teach us a lot right now. Yes.
What do you think about like the 1960s and 70s militarization of the police? The shift in the police?
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally very pro-police. What about the military? I mean,
What?
the question is what came first, and I honestly don't know the answer. Was it the rise in crime, or was it the police that went into the
If
interview?
you knew what you were talking about, you would know the answer.
Yeah, it's not so clear.
Yeah,
Because there was a massive crime wave in the early 1970s in New York, where a lot of New Yorkers demanded more police with heavier weaponry and the ability to enforce the law.
And post-militarization of the police, crime went up.
And then it went down in the 80s.
Correlate
Violent
that
crime
idea.
went down
Well,
big
let's talk
time.
about the 10 years that right after. What happened there? What do you think happened?
So you're drawing a correlation between police officers being militarized and more people committing crimes.
Over militarization of the police, yes. Is
Why?
Not exactly more people committing crimes, more people being arrested for crimes
Okay.
and put into jail over minor
Yeah, I mean,
crimes.
I can't disagree with that.
The prison system, I mean, we account for.
Yeah, I mean, why do people go to prison, right? Because they commit crimes. So
There's a big difference, young lady, between crime rates going up and incarceration rates going up. Yeah, there was militarization of the police a little bit, and there was more police. But in the 80s, which is what they were talking about here, crime went down dramatically because of that. And yes, more people went to jail. That's what brought the crime down. There was more cops cracking down on more of the crime. Now, some people got some pretty harsh sentence for stuff that I don't think maybe should have been sentenced that harshly. But nonetheless, it wasn't that there was more crime, it's that more people went to jail for the crimes. I'm a pro-police guy. The defund the police was a horrible thing. Look at all the looting that's going on in California right now. See if they think it's a good idea. Hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, help it grow, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, and have a great day.